Hey, it's Scott Bywater here, and I got a question in my Facebook group called Scott Bywater the other day. It was how do you scale your freelance business if you have very few regular clients? So I wanted to take a moment to just answer that now. Now, if you're in the freelance business, the real secret to scaling is trust. So the question you want to really start with is, how do I build trust with as many potential clients as possible? Now, the way I did it when I started out is I basically did it through an email list. Now, this was probably 10 years ago. So, I had an opt-in page, and then I would send out regular emails. And initially it was quite slow, but as more and more people built trust and they saw that the stuff I was sharing was really valuable, then they became clients as a result of that. And there's a very different relationship or a very different conversation that happens when someone has received 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 emails from you as compared with if someone has received, if someone doesn't know you or they've come to you cold or whatever. And you'll find that sales skills become less important because you've built the trust, because you're selling something which is at generally a higher end. And what I mean is, you're not selling a can of Coke, you're selling something where there's a lot of thinking that goes into that decision. And in reality, 70% of the decision is made if someone's read a lot of articles and a lot of content from you, before they even reach you. So a large part of that decision is made. So in today's day and age, obviously, I still think email is very powerful. You want to move people across to your email list. But the other thing, you want to factor in things like, Facebook and Google AdWords and all that sort of thing. So, for example, from a Google AdWords perspective, you could look at all the potential keywords that people might be looking up from problem-based keywords and solution-based keywords, and have them there and have separate landing pages that you can take people through to for different aspects of your service. So that's one way you could definitely do it. Once they got on your email list, start to talk to them about those specific topics. Hey Russ, how are you? Great to see you on here. So you have people coming in through that sort of way. And then you've also got Facebook. So and you've got things like this, which is Facebook Live, where we're sharing content. But I would say the whole thing is it's based on content, but if you're looking to scale fast, you want it to be lead generation based content. So, a very simple way to do it is you could create, let's say, a webinar of some sorts, and you could run an ad, let's say an ad on Facebook, which directs people to a webinar. People log in, they build a relationship with you, they start to read through your content, or watch your content, should I say, and then at the end they might come in and they might fill out a form and they might decide to then connect with you. But by the time they've been through this process, you've already had an hour with them, let's say, to build and foster that relationship. And the question you should really be asking yourself if you're in the freelance type business, because the challenge with a freelance business is you get busy on delivery. And the thing we must always be doing if we're in the freelance type business is to always be marketing. So even if you're busy with delivery, you got to take time. You can take 5-10 minutes out, like I'm doing now, to create some content, to build things, and that sort of thing. You got to take time to do the lead generation, the calls, all of that sort of thing is what you definitely want to be doing on a consistent basis. So I would urge you to definitely be doing that. Hey Jeremy, how are you? Good to see you on here. So that is really key, and that's a trap people tend to fall into. And the other question to ask is, how many people have seen your marketing message today? So how many people have seen it? So for instance, let's say I send out several thousand emails a day. So thousands of people are seeing my marketing message, and even if only 700 open it, let's say, it's getting exposed to a lot of people with not that much activity. Likewise, if you get a webinar that's working, and let's say you can get that webinar, that webinar ad in front of 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 eyeballs as such, then you're going to have so much more, your business is going to grow. Whereas what I see with the freelance sort of side of things, is that, often people will just be, they won't be marketing, they'll be busy doing the work, and they don't take out that slice for marketing, because you could be doing really well today. You might have a flood of work coming in, but then you've got and you're going under the water, if you like, but then you've got to pop your head up and you've got to go, okay, what am I going to do for my marketing? If you imagine a dolphin, you've got to pop your head up, you've got to bring more in, and then you can deep dive in. And obviously, that's really what's required from a freelance business. Now, in all honesty, if you're going to have if you want to build a big business, you're probably not going to do it with a freelance business. And then you've really got to think of, well, how can I actually scale this? And that's when systems and procedures and other sort of skills come into it. But for the purpose of this, we're talking specifically about the freelance business. So let me just recap. You want to always be marketing. 2, you want to be building relationships, and you want to be building content. So you definitely want to be building content, and you want it to be lead generation based. So, free webinar reveals, whatever type of market you're trying to attack, bring them into a free webinar, deliver the free webinar, and then hey, it cost me $1,000 to put 50 people into a webinar, and out of every 50 people, I might close, 5 sales or 10 sales or whatever out of that. But you get to know your numbers, and then you can just scale it, from there. Russ has said, ABM, always be marketing, love it. Yeah, very, 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 very critical, because it keeps the wheels constantly turning. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you want to be always thinking, 2, 3, 4 chess, the greatest chess players, they're not just going, what's the move that I'm doing now? What they're actually doing is they're thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. That's basically what they're actually thinking. So that is really, really critical. So and 3, Nick said, wear boxer shorts. Love it. So So these are really essentially the steps. So love to get your thoughts. I really love answering questions on Facebook Live. Where people have asked a specific question, because I find it goes deeper and it resonates more, and it also adds a heck of a lot more value. So if you've got, if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I wouldn't mind this question answered, that question answered, then flick it through. Likewise, check out, look up Scott Bywater in Facebook groups and join my Facebook group, and would love to connect with you in there as well. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.